can breathe in light and breathe out love. I can breathe in hope and breathe out joy. I can breathe in peace and breathe out kindness. I can breathe in light and breathe out love. I can breathe in hope and breathe out joy. I can breathe in peace and breathe out kindness. I can breathe in light and breathe out love. I can breathe in hope and breathe out joy. I can breathe in peace and breathe out kindness. I can breathe in light and breathe out love. I can breathe in hope and breathe out joy. I can breathe in peace and breathe out kindness.
Isn't it pretty? It's a pretty song. That's a new one. I'm learning it. That's a pretty, pretty, pretty one. We know this next one. We do. All you have to do is your ooh. It's great to see everybody. Ooh. It's been a week since our ooh.
I saw the sun peek through this morning from the window into my room.
It's a gray day, but that's okay. It's a lot cooler. The sun is always behind the clouds.
Welcome to the sun. I'll wake up fresh with a smile on my face, for the day has begun. Ooh. Welcome to the sun. Welcome, welcome, this is our welcome song. Welcome, welcome, I hope you'll sing along. Welcome, welcome, the sky up above. Welcome to you. I'll stretch up high and down to the ground. Now I'm ready for the day. I'll feed my body for energy and strength, so I can go and play. Welcome, welcome, this is our welcome song. Welcome, welcome, I hope you'll sing along. Welcome, welcome, the sky up above. Welcome to you. Welcome to you.
Welcome to Saturday morning. We are here again, and the sun is always behind the clouds. It could be more of a rainy day today, but you will hardly ever hear me say this. We actually need the rain. So it's okay. It's okay if we get a little bit of rain today. It's a lot cooler this morning. It is so good that you're here. We're going to sing the song where you know the tune. We change the words. Here we go. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. It's story time on Saturday. Is anybody here new? So if you are new, put 5 fingers up. Give us a 5-finger wiggle. Let us know on the Facebook. We'd love to welcome you along. If you've been here forever and ever, it does feel really good. Give us a 2-arm, 10-finger stretch. Here we go. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. It's story time on Saturday. Is anybody here new? Hello, we're so glad you're here. Put up 2 arms if you've been here forever and ever, or if you've come back after a break. All right, next verse. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. It's story time on Saturday. Let's read a book or 2. And what I'm doing for the next couple of weeks is I'm picking one author illustrator and doing books just by that one person. So I don't know if you know John Agee. He is going to be who we focus on today. So here we go. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. It's story time on Saturday. Let's read a book or two. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, last verse. Stand up if you'd like to. If not, I don't, but I do get my legs going. It feels awesome. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Before we get started, let's hop like a kangaroo. Hop, 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 hop. We'll do it again because you might want to stand up and hop a little bit more. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Before we get started, let's hop like a kangaroo. Hop, 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 hop. Fantastic. All right, so this week is completely different. Last week we focused on Emily Gravett, like rabbit. She had a lot of rabbits, and the illustrations were unbelievable, just beautiful. So today's different. Today, completely different. John Agee, and he has written over 30 books. We had 4 or 5 at the Shayla North Hills Library, which I grabbed. There are other ones out there. He's still busy at work writing more picture books. When he was a little boy, wrote his first book with his mom. He drew the pictures and asked his mom to write the words, which I think there are a lot of people out there who have done that. You could go on, maybe you'll go on and do a picture book. The pictures are super important in his books. Sometimes illustrations are just kind of the backdrop and they support the story. But with John Agee, and this is my interpretation, the pictures are like words. They're really important to his book. So we're going to start with life lessons. I'm sorry, not life lessons, lion lessons. There are life lessons and lion lessons. So first page is here. All right, so, and this is an important part of the story, and it starts without any description. We've got karate lessons, learn the violin lessons, there's a tutor, knitting lessons, Spanish, yoga, baking lessons, and there is a small boy, and he goes into lion lessons. 7 easy steps. It's not easy getting your lion diploma. I know. I took lessons. My teacher was a pro. There are 7 steps to becoming a lion, he said. But first, we must stretch. And again, take a look. I don't know if you can read or not, but some of the diplomas on his back wall are pretty funny. He's got the Harvard School of Claw. We did the upward lion. We did the downward lion. We did the upside down lion, the rolling lion, the flying lion, and we shook our manes. So anybody out there who has ever done yoga, you will find these 2 pages pretty funny. Step 1 was looking fierce. Watch me, said the lion. You bare your claws, you gnash your teeth, and you show your fangs. I tried out my 3 most frightening poses, and the lion wasn't impressed. Step 2 was roaring. It's simple, said the lion. Take a deep breath and roar as loud as you can into the microphone. I took a deep breath and I roared as loud as I could. Needs work, said the lion. Step 3 was choosing what to eat, and the lion showed me the menu. Now, we know that lions they're carnivores, but these are super funny, like the free-range muskrat, organic iguana, all-you-can-eat antelope, prairie-raised anteater. Are there any specials, I asked? You know, like spaghetti? And the lion growled, "We do not eat spaghetti." Step 4 was prowling around, and we crept through the woods trying to be invisible. We hid in the bushes. "I can see your tail," said the lion. We hid behind the trees. "Your tail," said the lion. "I can still see it." Step 5 was sprinting. "Do you see that tree?" said the lion. And I looked around. "You mean that little one there?" "No," said the lion. "The big one on the faraway hill. I'll meet you there in 5 minutes." It took me an hour. "You need to hit the gym," said the lion. Step 6 was pouncing. "It's simple," said the lion. "You need a running start and then you jump on that lady." "But I'll scare her to death." That's the idea," said the lion. So I got a running start. A picture up here. And I pounced. "Oh, what a cute little kitty cat," said the lady. "Are you lost?" "Meow, meow," I said. The lion checked my scores. This is not very promising. Step 7 was looking out for your friends. So here they are. I'll show you the page first. Right away, I spotted a kitten. "Friend or foe?" said the lion. "Oh, that's easy," I said. "Friend." "What about that dog?" I let out a ferocious roar. Then I bared my claws, and I gnashed my teeth, and I pawed the ground, and I shook my mane. And then I sprinted across the field as fast as I could. And I pounced. Exactly like, well, you know, a lion. These great pictures. "Bravo," said the lion. And that's how I got my diploma. I'm very proud of it. neighborhood cats won't leave me alone. Isn't that sweet? So this is called Lion Lessons. John Agee. I think it's a lot of fun, and it's great to pretend. What if we were a lion? But step 7 was looking out for your friends. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we need to move. We need to shake. We are not going to delay. It is time for our silly dance contest. So here we go.
Now this is called the Silly Dance Contest, where the silliest dancer is always the best.
Ready?
You just dance, dance, dance as silly as you please, and when the music stops, then you freeze. Dance any way you want to, dance any way you please, dance any way you want to, but stop when I say freeze. Hold that freeze as quiet as you can. And get ready for the Silly Dance Contest Round 2. Dance any way you want to, dance any way you please, dance any way you want to, but stop when I say freeze. Freeze. Like a statue. Now if you look silly, you're doing great. And this time we're going to jump up and down as high as we can. Jump as high as you want to, jump as high as you please, jump as high as you want to, but stop when I say freeze. Stay frozen. Some people freeze with a silly face. And this time, let's dance as fast as we can.
Not my glasses.
Dance as fast you want to, dance as fast you please, dance as fast you want to, but stop when I say freeze. I told you that was fast. But now here's the hard one. Dancing.
I think it's our favorite.
Slow
Ready?
motion.
Look up to it.
Dance as slow as you want to. Dance as slow as you please. Take a partner. Dance as slow as you want to, but stop when I say freeze. One final round of the Silly Dance Contest. Dance any way you want to, dance any way you please, dance any way you want to, but stop when I say freeze. And it ends with your arms stretched way up high in the air. And when the music gets lower, everybody shrinks a little lower. And then lower. And lower. And lower. And all the way down.
We did it. Okay. All right, I'm just thinking about it. Which one we're going to do next. And I think we're going to do this one next. This one's called It's Only Stanley. And in fact, this was at the library. This was the first book by him, by John Agee, that I saw. And there was just something about that dog. And I thought, I want to know more. What is that dog up to? And again, the pictures are really important. So keep in mind this picture right here. Okay, so it's called It's Only Stanley. Ooh. It's only Stanley. The Wimbledons were sleeping. It was very, very late when Wilma heard a spooky sound which made her sit up straight. "Oh, that's very odd," said Walter. "I don't recognize the tune." And keep an eye on the cat in this book. I know it's about Stanley the dog, but just keep an eye on the cat as well. It's only Stanley, Walter said. He's howling at the moon. The Wimbledons were sleeping. It was later than before when Wendy heard a clanking sound below her bedroom floor. Oh, that's very odd, said Walter. Then they heard another clank. Look at that cat. It's like something's up. Clank, 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 clank. Oh, it's only Stanley, Walter said. He fixed the oil tank. The Wimbledons were sleeping. It was even later still when Willie smelled a funky smell that made him kind of ill. Oh, that's very odd, said Walter, when it's almost 2:30. I've got to keep an eye on that cat, remember? Remember he said he was fixing the oil tank? And the cat's going. It's only Stanley, Walter said. He's making catfish stew. I gotta show you the picture of the cat though first. Look at the cat. The Wimbledons were sleeping. It was as late as it can get when Wanda heard a bzzing noise that made her all upset. That's very odd, said Walter, when it's almost 3:30. Oh, it's only Stanley, Walter said. He fixed our old TV. The Wimbledons were sleeping. It was late beyond belief when Wiley heard a splashing sound that made him say, "Good grief." It's very odd, said Walter, when we've had so little rain. Splish, splash, whoosh, whoosh. It's only Stanley, Walter said. He cleared the bathroom drain. Now, Wilma wasn't happy, and the children threw a fit. We'll never get to sleep tonight if Stanley doesn't quit. I understand, said Walter. I'll talk to him right now. But just as Walter turned to go, there was a big... Again, look at that cat. I wrote that best supporting cat in this book. There was a big kapow! Whoa! The Wimbledons went flying, including Max, the cat. Wendy looked around and said, "Well, what on earth was that?" "I'll go and look," said Walter, "and I'll be back very soon." It's only Stanley, Walter said. We're going to... You know what rhymes? Uh-oh. Stanley made the house into a rocket. They went to the moon. Look. And that is the end of that book called It's Only Stanley, which I just think is just a lot of fun. Again, the illustrations are just so wonderful. They're so fun. And every page you can just look more and more, but let us not forget Max the cat. In fact, I'm just looking on the last page to see if I can see Max the cat. I'll have to keep looking. All right, well that is Stanley. There's another famous dog that you know about that we're going to sing about, and it's really a fun version. You know this dog. There was a farmer who had a dog, and Bingo was his name-o.
There was a farmer had a dog. Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, there was a farmer had a dog. Bingo was his name. Oh, I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh,
It's fast.
there was a farmer had a dog. Bingo was his name. Oh, N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, there was a farmer had a dog. Bingo was his name. Oh, G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, there was a farmer had a dog. Bingo
Super fast.
Oh, Bingo was his name. Oh, there was a farmer had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, and Bingo was his name. Oh, Bingo was his name.
Woo! That was super fast. Super, 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 super fast. All right. All right. Next John Agee book we're going to read is called My Rhinoceros. And if you, I think the boys look similar. Do they look a little bit similar? I don't know if it's the same boy in My Rhinoceros, but he certainly has a very similar, vivid, playful imagination. And once again, first page matters. So he is walking past the pet store called Exotic Pets. When I bought my rhinoceros, I didn't really know what I was getting into. He was a nice animal, quiet, shy. He stayed in the yard and he kept to himself. After a couple of days, I noticed that my rhinoceros wouldn't chase the ball. Fetch! Or a stick. Fetch! Or a frisbee. Come on! He didn't roll over. He didn't do anything. I called a rhinoceros expert. Does he yank on his leash? She asked. No, I said. Does he attack other rhinoceroses? No, I said. Does he poop on the rug? No, I said. So what's the problem? Well, he doesn't do anything, I said. Actually, she said, rhinoceroses only do two things. They pop balloons and they poke holes in kites. I couldn't believe it. Pop balloons and poke holes in kites? How pathetic. And then I thought, well, what if I went to the park and there was a man selling balloons? Luckily, nothing happened. But what if somebody was flying a kite? Lots of kids were flying kites, but nothing happened. My rhinoceros didn't pop balloons. He didn't even poke holes in kites. I began to wonder about my rhinoceros. Maybe he was a clunker. Maybe I should have bought a hippopotamus instead. Well, on the way home from the park, I saw a robbery. And one of the robbers was getting away in a balloon and the other was escaping in a kite. The robber in the balloon was taunting the crowd. And I looked at my rhinoceros and I pointed to the balloon. Pop! I said. Look at this picture. To my surprise, my rhinoceros leapt into the air. He swooped at the balloon with his tusk and pop! Went the balloon, and down fell the robber. I looked at my rhinoceros and pointed to the robber in the kite. Poke a hole, I yelled. It's like super rhino. My rhinoceros swooped over and poked a big hole in the kite, and down fell the robber. Everyone was amazed by my rhinoceros, and the police chief raced up to me. Is this your rhinoceros? Yes, I said. Well, you've got a really special one. He can pop balloons and poke holes in kites. I know, I said. And guess what else? He can fly too. I don't think I'll buy a hippopotamus. And that is the end of My Rhinoceros by John Agee. All right, it is getting late. I do have one more story. Blah, 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 blah. What do you think? Song, story? This is where Freddie would say, no more songs. Oh, Freddie, you're awesome. And then Freddie would always join in. So I don't know, Freddie, thumbs up, thumbs down, song, book. What do you guys think? Well, can I show you this one? This is really an odd book. Let's do it. Let's just do this odd one. And when I first picked this book up, I'm like, wait a second, something's wrong. So the title of the book is here, okay? But this is the front of the book. So already you know that you're in for an unusual treat. So it looks like that this is the back of the book, and this is the front of the book. I know, I'm making you dizzy. Okay, does anybody know this book? This book is called The Other Side of Town. And it's like a mashup between like science fiction and picture book. It's bizarre. I like it though. I like it. This is called The Other Side of Town by John Agee. I was having a lousy day. Few fares, bad tips, a flat tire, when this funny guy in a hat waved me down. Take me to Schmeeker Street, he said. You mean Bleecker Street? Downtown? No, Schmeeker Street, on the other side of town. This is a cab driver in New York City. He told me how to get there, past the bus depot and the city dump, until we came to a dead end. Here we are, I said. This must be the other side of town. Oh, not yet, he said, and he whipped out a remote control and he pressed a button. So there they are. They reached the wall, and there's this remote control. And if anybody's thinking what I'm thinking, are you starting to think about Miss Ing and her funny hats? I am. Short legs, funny hat. The wall in front of us opened. What's this? I said. The Funkin' Tunnel. You mean the Lincoln Tunnel after Abe Lincoln? No, he said the Funkin' Tunnel after Gabe Funkin'. He's famous on the other side of town. Okay, I said, let's go. See how it feels a little bit science fiction-y? The Funkin' Tunnel went on for miles. And I looked back and I noticed the guy was reading the sports pages. You like baseball? I asked. Yes, he said. I root for the Spankies. You mean the Yankees? No, the Spankies. They're the best team on the other side of town. The tunnel led out into a maze of ramps. Straight ahead, said the guy, and look out for the spot holes. You mean potholes? Oh, no, spot holes. Everybody complains about them on the other side of town. I swerved and hit a spot hole. Everything went black. Don't panic, he said. You just need to turn on your nog lights. You mean fog lights? No, nog lights. Don't you have nog lights? No, I don't. But let me guess. Everybody has nog lights on the other side of town. Then kathunk! We popped out of a spot hole right into Schmeeker Street. What's going on? It must be mush hour, he said. You mean rush hour? Oh no, mush hour. It's a big headache on the other side of town. Isn't this silly? Look, they all look like that. They're all like greeny beanies with funny little pink things coming out of their heads. Schmeeker Street. We made it through mush hour. There's my house, said the guy, on the right, next to the glom tree. You mean palm tree? No, glom tree. They grow like wild on the other side of town. He paid his fare and he started to go. Wait, I said. How do I get back to the city? Easy, he said. You take the Snooklin Bridge. You mean the Brooklyn Bridge? Oh no, the Snooklin Bridge. It's the most amazing bridge on the other side of town. Thanks, I said, and I hit the gas. Well, he was right. The Snooklin Bridge was pretty amazing. So amazing that it suddenly disappeared and everything went black. I panicked. Help! Get me out of here! And for those of you that know anything about me, that is what I say in New York City. Help! Get me out of here! Wah! I looked around the cab for a map, and in the back seat, I spotted the guy's remote control. And there were two buttons. Enter and exit. And I pressed exit. Presto, there was Times Square, and I hopped into my cab and I raced home. I couldn't wait to tell everyone where I had been. You're just in time for dinner, said my wife. We're having tweetloaf. You mean meatloaf with gravy? No, tweetloaf with gravy. It's very popular on the other side of town. And that is the end of a very silly book called The Other Side of Town. And I just enjoyed it because I think, you know, when you play with words, it's a bit like when you play with your crayons and your markers and your paint. You can create whole new things. Kind of makes me think of Frendel. So I just thought that was a fun book. We have gone way over time. You guys have been awesome listeners. We have done books by John Agee. And again, when he was little, he had his mom help him to write his first book. She did the words, he did the pictures. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. We'll be back next week. It will be, again, completely different. I thank you for being here, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and it certainly has been a pleasure for me. Thanks for coming to Storytime. Let's see if I have a song to take us out. And I think we will go out on... We've already left, so that's okay. Because I can't find the song. Actually, we're going to go out on this one. This is a fun dancing song.
Hey babe, jump over here when you
Do the ooby dooby.
I